inside your circumstance, and I see you looking for a chance to dance, and it seems to me the world's a better place because of you. You were made to shine just like the stars above, and I know you are made for love and to be loved, and it seems to me the world's a better place because of you. Oh, why do we see one another and compare our lives together, thinking that the greener grass is anywhere but here? Shine, shine, set your eyes on things above now. Shine, shine, you are someone made for love now. Shine, shine, join in the applause of love and shine. Ain't it grand? Life is so worth celebrating. Hand in hand, live a life worth imitating. Sing along, the world's a better place because of you. Oh, why do we see one another and compare? Well, I'm the free world leader. Freedom's rolling out to you. Oh, let's roll. Well, I'm the good news instigator, compassionate conversator. This freedom is rocking and rolling on out to you. White and blue. Well, greetings everybody, and welcome to the John Morgan Show. I am your host, John Morgan. Welcome to a Friday edition, a holiday edition. Today is day one of the Labor Day weekend. Woohoo! How fun. It is great to be with you. It is great, great, great to be alive, and I will be alive forevermore. What? Do you ever think about that? You're going to live forever. Forever. That's so wild. Hi, Karen. Welcome. Woo. Yeah. Welcome, everybody, to the John Morgan Show. I am your host, me. And I'm so glad to be with you. I get to spend the evening with family. I'm so thrilled about that. Kathy is up at Publix getting some stuff for us to take over because there might not be enough food. And we got to make sure that there's way more than enough food, because that's what America is about. It's about sharing. It's about caring. It's about abundance. It's about plenty. And I love that there are so many food programs in our country, because there is so much care in our country for the poor, for the underprivileged, for the disadvantaged, and for those who have less than perhaps you and I do. And it's just grateful. I love this country and how it cares for its own. You know, it's almost as though there's some genuine affection for the underprivileged in this nation. There is so much abundance here in America. And, you know, when you look across the globe at other countries, and that's not to disparage anyone else, but America far and away sends out more food, more missionaries, more money. Of course, we have more. We've been given more, but to whom much is given, much is expected, it says in the Word, and America steps up to the plate, I believe, and does give out of her abundance. And it's just a beautiful thing to see, because there are so many people out there right now who are just running this country into the ground, and they can't say a nice thing about America no matter what. Now, look, don't get me wrong. America has her flaws, and America definitely has had her needs to grow, and needs to grow into new attitudes and new realms of affection for our fellow man. And we've done a good job at that. And so I think that we've come a long way, and we have a long way to go. And it's just a beautiful thing, because the future is not written, and we are changing, and we can change. And I just love all that. This shirt I wore today because it's one of the three. I named this show the 3 top ways to affect change. The 3 greatest ways to change the world. And I wanted to talk about them with you today, because they are not reserved for the super rich or the super smart or the super anything. Christopher Sean Shaw Show! Try saying that 5 times fast. Chris, welcome to the show. It's great to see you. Where's your mom? She's a regular around here. Don't see OH, Karen Sue Bailey Vance, but sometimes she watches the show after the fact, but she always chimes in. She always says, hey, I'm there. Better late than never. And that's very true. I appreciate you, Chris. I hope your show went well the other night without me. Thank you for inviting me onto the show, but I couldn't make it. But hopefully on your very next invitation, I'll be able to say yes, because I love your show. You pull comedy out of me like nobody else I know. And, well, you know, we all need to laugh, okay? We all need lots and lots of laughs. So today is, are you ready for this? Show number 95. There you are! We were just talking about you, Karen. Welcome. See, do you see above you in the whatevers? Who's on here? Yeah, it's Junior with this cute little thing that he does. Am I doing it right? No, that's a triangle. You're doing it like that. Yeah. If you look at Chris's logo, it's you see, Christopher Sean Shaw is a film producer, and he is a producer of great American comedies. And Chris, share with everybody your website. So, oh, really, Victoria Jackson? I've worked with her. She's amazing. Oh, I can't wait to see that. That's going to be fun. Well, so very quickly, let's share. Did I say today is show number 95? That means next Friday is a very, very special show indeed. And we'll have to find some kind of way to do a contest or something to get as many viewers as we can on the show, because next Friday is going to be, yep, the big 100. And you know, I remember on my 10th birthday, well, on my 10th birthday, I wanted a particular birthday present from my family, and they did not get me that present. I mean, I made my wishes very clear. They did not get me that gift. And I remember crying like a little baby. And my oldest sister, Becky, who is currently in town, I'll be dining with her in about an hour. She said to me, and I don't know, Becky, if you'll remember this, if you're on the show, you said, you can't cry now. You're a big boy because you're 10. You have 2 digits in your age. You're not 9. 9 and down only has 1 digit. Now you're into the 2-digit category. You're a big boy now. So you can't just cry over not getting the birthday present that you want. And so, wow, I don't know if that means for my 100th show. Does that mean I can't cry on the show? After my 100th show, I can't cry anymore? Okay, well, I haven't cried yet, so maybe I won't ever cry. So here is the 3 top ways to make a difference. Way number 1. No, it's not to blow a bicycle horn. I just needed some fanfare, and that's all I had. Yes, Karen, I'm the baby of the family. What did I want? Do I have to tell? Am I turning red now? All right, fine. I'll tell you, fine. I was raised in a family with 3 older sisters, okay? I had no brothers, and that was my world, okay? And so I wanted a Chatty Cathy doll. I didn't necessarily play with dolls. I didn't play with dolls. I didn't have any dolls, but I wanted the Chatty Cathy doll because it had this really cool mechanical thing on the back of it that I wanted to play with. You pull the string and it talks, and I just thought that was the bomb. So yes, I wanted a Chatty Cathy doll, and I didn't get it, and I cried. But guess what happened 20 years later? I met my beautiful wife, Kathy. I got my own real life Chatty Cathy doll. It was way better than a pull string. Trust me. Yes. Oh, yes. I married my Chatty Cathy doll, and she's with me to this day, and I love her with all my heart. Oh, yeah. Yep. Hi, Carol. Hi, Mimi. Good to see you. Mark, I know. It's embarrassing, but you know what? Hey, this show's about authenticity. If I can't be real, then I'm a phony. And I am a professional phony. And it doesn't mean just because I shared that little tidbit of information that I feel obligated to share every deep, dark secret of my life. No, I don't. I reserve the right to say whatever I want because it's my show. So anyway, hi, Beth. Welcome. Number 1 way to make a difference out of 3. Realize that influence happens. Influence happens. That's right. In a million guesses, I'd never guessed a Chatty Cathy. No, I should have made a contest out of it. Yes, influence happens, my friends. How do children learn to walk? By watching their mommy and their daddy. How do they learn to talk? By watching their mommy and their daddy. How does a little kid learn how to play basketball or throw a football? From his dad. Influence. It's a beautiful, wonderful word. Think of this, okay? Picture with me on a cool fall morning on a lake. Say you're in a cabin for the weekend, Labor Day weekend even, up in the Carolinas. There's a little mist hovering over the lake, and you're just up early. You got maybe even an early morning campfire. You're going to cook some sausage and eggs, and you walk out on the edge of the dock, and the water is so crystally smooth that you can see a perfect image of your own face reflected on the water. And you take a pebble and you go, I can't do it. You drop it into that water and you watch it, and it goes down and it makes a vortex. And then that one little drop of water comes up and floats in the air and then comes back down. And then the next thing that happens as you watch where that pebble dropped, from the place where the pebble hit the water, these little ringlets begin to form and move outwards. And then another one, and then another one. And these waves of ripples move outward. I believe that is a perfect illustration of influence, because you took an action. You dropped that pebble into that water, and you completely changed everything. You broke the surface tension, and all these scientific things happened, but basically you influenced the water. If there was a tiny little tiny toad frog sitting on a surfboard, you created a wave that he could surf on, okay? Influence. It happens every time we speak. We influence others. We tell people things without saying them. We tell people what we believe. We tell people what we feel. We communicate. Sometimes not even with words, sometimes with just the emotion on our face. We tell people what's important to us. We tell people who we love by sharing those wonderful words. And you've heard me say that I love to say, God bless you, to people that I meet, random people, people in the drugstore, grocery store, whatever, all the time. It's a habit now. And I watch smiles come on their face. They love it. People are like, oh, I needed that. And 9 times out of 10, they'll say, oh, God bless you too, or thank you, you too. And so I get a blessing just from doing it. It's like a mirror effect, you know? It's like a wave. You send it out, it comes back. I don't do it for the blessing that comes back, but I love that it comes back. So influence. And when you influence others, either positively or negatively, you can see them become like you. You can see the groupthink begin to happen. You can see your words affect change. I like to say influence. It's a lot like influenza because they're both contagious. You get it? I mean, nowadays, I should say influence. It's a lot like COVID-19, but that doesn't, phonetically sound as cool as influence and influenza. Influence and influenza. I mean, nothing rhymes with COVID-19. You could maybe find something that rhymes with corona. My Sharona. My Sharona. Corona. Anyway, you get my drift. Influence. So that's why it's so important, because each one of us is like a little nuclear power plant of impact and influence in our world. And I talked about dropping a pebble, right? Did you know that if you drop a grain of salt, it'll have the same impact, only lesser? I mean, at some point, there's something you could drop on the surface of the water, and it'll just make a little dent. It might not go in. But the pebble goes down and makes that impact. Now, the pebble is one thing. What if you dropped in something the size of like my cell phone? It would depend on whether or not it goes in sleek like this or if it does a belly flop. Some of you have seen the difference between a good dive and a belly flop. So have I. It hurts. And what if you dropped a boulder? What if you dropped a refrigerator? What if you dropped a house? There was a sinkhole that opened up in Winter Park one time. It swallowed a Mercedes and an entire house, a couple of trees, and that's impact. That's some serious influenza right there going on. So be thoughtful about your communication, knowing that you are impacting others by the choice of words you use, by your attitude. It all impacts others. It influences folks, okay? And that's number one, how you change the world, one little bit at a time. Number two, how to change the world. Be fearless. Be fearless. And I like to say, it's incremental. Faith is like a muscle. It grows with use. If you stop exercising, if you don't, work out a little bit, your muscles will begin to atrophy and become weaker and weaker. But with repeated use and often use, they get stronger and stronger and stronger. And faith is exactly the same way. Trusting God in obedience requires faith in the nature of God. You first have to believe that God is good. Because if he's not trustworthy, why in the world obey him? You have to believe that he's trustworthy, that the words that have come out of his mouth with which he created you and me and everything else, they're trustworthy. And so if he instructs you to do something in his word or through the Holy Spirit moving you, you can depend on that. That's dependable. And fear comes along and tries to make you stop dead in your tracks and not make those moves of faith. Okay? Faith, you can't, when you're sitting still, what is it they say? You can't steer a boat that's at the dock. I mean, you can turn the wheel all you want to. The rudder will even turn. But the ship isn't going to go anywhere. You can steer a car in your garage all day long, even crank it up, use the power steering, no problem. You're not going to affect anything while that car is sitting still, while that boat is tied to the dock. You've got to be moving, man. And in order to move, you've got to trust. You've got to have faith, and you've got to be fearless. And I like to say, if you're not fearless, then just try fearing less. Fear less. Fear less. Fear less. Next thing you know, you're fearless. I talk all about that in my book, War on Fear, which, as you know, is the daily sponsor to my show, The John Morgan Show. And it's a great book. If you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend you pick up a copy by going to waronfearbook.com. And you will be surprised how much fear you get rid of. I mean, I hear it all the time on TV shows, on talk shows, on news programs. There is an epidemic of fear in our country. People are so afraid to voice their opinion. They're so afraid. And you know what? I'll tell you something. I have grown. My fearlessness has grown. Thank you, Christopher Sean Shaw, for posting that link. I'm very grateful. Now you can just go to the comments and click the link that my friend Christopher Sean Shaw put right there, waronfearbook.com. Yes, I've grown more bold, hopefully just as tender and thoughtful, because I want to always be mindful. There are people who make a living. I mean, there are people who make a living being rude and being caustic and being sarcastic, and that's just never been me. I want to be the authentic version of myself, and I also want to reflect the love of Christ as I do my show. So hopefully I'm never going to be caustic and sarcastic and rude and angry on my program. I mean, it doesn't matter if I don't go anywhere, if it doesn't matter if I never grow a big audience. I'd rather just be me and serve the folks that come on the show. And if you gain anything from it, then you can say thank you by liking it and by sharing it with others. Sharing is the big deal. That's how the show grows, through people sharing with others what they see and what they hear. And now the number 3 way to make a difference is to have an attitude of gratitude. That's right, is to be grateful for everything. And in order to be grateful, people celebrate Thanksgiving's Day without knowing who to thank. I remember when I was a young teenager, we had a customer at Morgan Appliances, Mrs. Robinson. Mrs. Robinson, she was a dear, dear lady that lived in the inner city of Orlando. Thank you so much. You the man, whoever's doing that. Mrs. Robinson was one of those customers who, she was a little woman of slight stature, but boy, was she filled with wisdom. And she had these wonderful little quips and little sayings. And one of her favorites was, "Honey, I know who pushes my swing." And of course, we all know who she was referring to. If you're going to be thankful, it helps to know who to thank. And of course, the number one person we want to thank all the time is our precious Creator, but also one another. If somebody creates a meal for you, be grateful, be thankful, and let that gratitude shine through the acts of love that you offer in service to others. And when somebody does a kindness to you, says a kind word, I'm even learning all the time from my kids. My son John had his oil changed recently, and he actually tipped the person that changed his oil. And I thought, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he said, well, look, I remember when I was a waiter and people would tip me, it would make my day and make me feel good. If I got a bigger than average tip or something, well, you expect to tip a waiter, but you may not expect to tip somebody who changes your oil. But if you begin to tip people that don't expect it, it's a way of saying thank you, of being grateful. But it also really, really ministers to folks. It really will make their day. It's a way of giving in unexpected ways and over-the-top ways, and it's a way to change the world. So those are my 3 top ways. Remembering that influence happens. Your words matter a big bunch deal. Your attitude matters. And knowing, of course, that it's important to speak, to act, to do, to be brave and bold and make a difference in your world. So that's it for today, folks. I appreciate you so much. I'm honored that you would show up. Dee, I appreciate you, brother. Karen, I appreciate you so much. Chris, thanks for coming on. And everybody that watches after the show's over, thank you so much. Please like, please share, please help us get this thing over the top. I appreciate you again so much. God bless, and have a great Labor Day weekend!
Hey, this is Al Robertson from Duck Dynasty and Duck Commander. I want to tell you about a great book called War on Fear from my good buddy, John Morgan. Of course, he looks like George W. Bush, who had the famous War on Terror, so I immediately knew, there was a nice a bit of wordplay there. This book is fantastic. I think it speaks to sort of that natural fear that all of us have, whether it's public speaking or whether it's the first time you get asked to do something you've never done before, up to, the fear of loss of life, of a sick person in your family, all the things that we face every single day. I recommend this highly. I promise you will be blessed when you read this book, and it's the sort of book that after you read it, you're going to want to pass it on to someone else, which to me are the best kind of books. So War on Fear, get yours as soon as you can.
Well, I'm the free world leader. Freedom's rolling out to you. Oh, let's roll. Well, I'm the good news instigator, compassionate conversator. This freedom is rocking and rolling on out to you. White and blue. Hey, folks, thanks for tuning into the John Morgan Show today. I sure hope you have a fantastic Labor Day weekend. And by the way, Labor Day is my anniversary. No, not the anniversary of our marriage, but the anniversary of the day we got engaged. Oh, yeah. And I'll be telling you that wonderful story on Monday. So romantic. Don't forget, everybody, share the good news about woohoo! Thank you so much. Hi, Melania. Yeah.